Describe it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So when you get a record, it's not a record. When you get a record, you'll see. When you get a record, you'll see like Leon's markings in here, in the inside of this. So he'll give you your catalog number, and then be like Music House 2014, and so that's where you know where everything's been cut. So yeah, and if you check all your grime records, like 90% of them are going to be from here.
I was doing pirate radio with like a group of MCs that went to my school. So I was buying records, and then they would sort of hand me tunes as well. So I couldn't play them because there was no CD player. So it just became apparent that I had to cut it to actually be able to play it. I mean, now it's different because you get it sent digitally. But back then you couldn't play it digitally, so you'd have to cut the dub plate.
People like Skilliam, there was like hundreds of DJs like that are not even known. Skilliam wasn't like some known DJ on a Pirates or something. It was just a DJ. What slot do you have or something?
No, we had like a Saturday, like 4 to 6 or something.
What station?
Temptation FM.
Yeah. Wow. See, there you go. So people obviously now they see only like maybe like Rinse and Deja and stuff, but there was hundreds of stations in and around London, but people were still going to like 2 or 3 cutting houses. And this is like the east one.
It was like an industrial road at the bottom of that road. And then you get to the bottom and you do a right into the alley. You go down and you see loads of stickers on the walls and stuff. And this is my first experience of going there, remembering walking into the main bit and kind of seeing all the big speakers and everybody waiting in the waiting area to cut. And it was almost like the doctors, like people were sitting there for ages.
There was other places, but Music House was the place because that's where everyone cut. Especially for where I was trying to get into the jungle scene at the time, like everyone went there.
Like Music House was where everybody, like if you was anyone, you had to go there basically. You couldn't be big in the scene if you didn't go to Music House.
Being in there, that's how I got to meet everyone from north, south, west, and especially the grime music. Like Mac 10 used to cut, so everyone used to go there, give him tunes, and everyone else on Deja Vu. Then I think the Soul Study lot used to cut there. For grime, if there wasn't Music House, I don't think it would be how it is now.
Like music was another thing. As a DJ, I'm a collector of music, so I just had to cut everything. I had to like the big tunes. I just needed them. So yeah, I used to come down regularly and spend all of my student loan, all of my savings. I'd just cut. That's I'd regularly cut 12, 16, 20 tunes a week. I used to like waiting last minute to make sure that I could cut I cut the absolute freshest tunes. Like there was no way someone was making a tune Friday night or Friday daytime or whatever and I'm not getting it. I'm there in the cutting house until the absolute last minute that I have to leave to get to my radio show.
Yeah, people were like super competitive compared to I think it's calmed down a lot now. Because so much more people actually creating the music and not the DJ and producer thing was completely separate. Me and Skilliam 10 years ago would have just been DJs, would have just done a DJ set maybe with MCs on a radio station for that 2 hours and that was it. So that's how you had to differentiate from everyone else.
Like 10 DJs would phone you, you'd meet them at Music House at 12, they'll come meet you, cut all your dubs what they want, you play the songs, everybody picks what they want. They spend their time with Paul, cutting off all your stuff that you need.
From doing pirate radio and being around, DJs like Slimzy and, even like Glamour, OT Crew and Tubby and those sort of DJs, you started to realise, like when you get on pirate radio, you're playing like vinyl and you've got your test presses and your promos, but you start to realise that there's a level above that that you can reach as a DJ in terms of your selections.
They were cutting all the stuff that hadn't come out in shops yet. You know them ones. So obviously, once you've got a hold of like couple exclusives that no one else ain't got, scratch up whatever key you've got, make the booking safe, go and get that dub cut. You know what I mean?
You have to have new dubs every week. You have to have new vinyls, man. I guarantee you, Wiley and Dizzy are coming with some new stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Wiley's pressing other guys' dubs. He's not even just pressing his dubs. He's trying to come to radio with tunes.
It made me, want to. It's like an arms race almost.
You would want to say that you broke the tune kind of thing as well, because you wanted to go to the rave. People might play the same song as you, but if you've got a VIP of it, you've got on the dub plate in the rave there and then, it's you saying, okay, look, okay, you've got that, you can play that, but I've got this.
It's like, he's cut this, I need to cut it as well. He's playing this big tune, I need to play that big tune as well. And you end up having to just keep up with every other DJ. And it was really exciting because it kept you on your toes. You're listening to the radio all the time. You're hitting up the producer straight away. Like, as soon as someone else plays something, you hear it, you're on the phone like, what, can I get that as well, yeah?
It was like dealing with not just producers, but artists. Everyone was just mine. So there's a thing of like, give it to me first and don't give it to no one.
At the time, it was kind of like a show. Like, you want to be on the next level than the person playing before you.
And to kind of justify the spend as well. If you're spending like 30 quid, then like say like producer, you're like, man, you just got to leave this one for me because I'm spending for this, bro. Now I've got no peas. You know what I mean? These two just for me for now, just for a minute.
Yeah.
And like that's why people like will still listen back to these kind of sets with say like Maximum when he used to do the Roll Deep show, and he might have only had those tunes played and for a period of time and then they're gone. Where are they now? We don't know. Like Slimzy's dubs, like people always talk about them. He's like broken the CD in half and stuff, and just like so no one else had his tunes.
I think back in the day, like the DJs that were playing, they were what was big. They were the names. Like as an MC, you would say like sounds of the, you know what I'm saying, sounds of the something of whatever DJ it was because it's his sounds. You're just hosting it basically. You know what I'm saying? But like to be a big DJ would be to have the right sounds or to have your own sound. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I always felt like for people to like recognize Skepta, I'm gonna need to play my tunes in with all these other songs that I'm buying from these record shops. You get what I'm saying? Like I wanna mix my tunes into them. So I was like, yeah. At first I had like a tape player, but it had like pitch on it.
Every other day Skepta come with a new tune. Couldn't stand him. He's so like, he come with a new tune. I'm like, what's Skepta? He goes, yeah. I'm like, I phoned him, what you on? He's making a tune. I'm like, I've got to be on it, man. I think he kind of kept everyone on their toes in that sense because he was hungry, like he had the energy. So every time I speak to Skepta, he's sometimes telling me, why don't you try this? I'm like, Skepta, like, whoa, I'm doing something. He's always, I've got to rate him. He's always on his effort. Like,
I remember a day I was sitting in the back room and Mac 10 was in the main room and he was cutting dubs, but I was waiting to get my dubs cut, yeah. But like I was thinking, I just want to go in there, you get me, and just say, like, yo man, I got bangers on the CD, you get me, but it wasn't even a CD, it was mini disc. I wanted to go in there and just say like, listen to this, you get me, but yeah, I just sat there and listened to like bare sick dubs getting cut as well. So I just wanted to be in that room, like to get dubs and to show dubs as well, you get what I mean, like, but I just waited, I just thought to myself, you know what, one day they're gonna hear about me, it's gonna be them. But it was inspiring, like you see like all that little tiny things like that, like it's crazy how that day's just gone by, but I feel like that day must have done something to me, you know what I'm saying? It's empowering, like I go in, it makes me want to work harder, like yeah, one day I'm gonna be in that room.
Everybody that's coming in there, you've known them for years because you've been cutting dubs for years. And everybody's kind of congratulating you on your last, like as it went on, your last thing, what you got out. People are starting to see you from coming there, just cutting your dub plates to actually being a household name. So, you watch people grow.
They didn't just press the music, they were community. If you've done something and it's not sounding good, they will tell you. If the mix down not good, they will tell you. They'll take it and help you master it as much as they can. But if it wasn't up to standard where they ain't going to make you press a pile of toilet. So for Music House, I'll give them that.
I think it's vital because obviously you've got from the bedroom, take it, gets mastered, get the masters back, it's sounding like full it's got that full experience. Like it's got more rooms. It's like everything that you didn't think that your tune had. Now all of a sudden your tune's got life.
He's standing there with Paul. You listen. He's standing there while he's making sure the EQs are right. He's bringing your snare right. He's compressing the hat.
Because let's be honest, like most of the music, the quality of the music was rubbish. Even mine wasn't great. I pulled it off. I don't know how, but I had a good mentor. Paul was my mentor. He's the one that my music was just as bad as everyone else's. He came to me and went, I can't swear, can I? He went, that's blah. It was cussing me. So I remember going home, he ripped my mixes to shreds. So he helped me critique my sound and to get my levels up.
Like, because a lot of the records we put out with Butters, it's the producer's first record. So imagine how many things are done incorrectly when you actually get here and Leon's got to master what you've done. So it might be like one little adjustment and you can tell like how much a producer knows what they're doing from maybe a simple request from Leon, actually like make the bass mono or something like that. And they're like, what? How many problems have you had at that time? Like we've had so many problems we've released out of maybe the 15 or so that we've done, maybe that's like 10 producers first thing on vinyl or maybe second at most, you know. So every time I've come here, I give him the CD, it says, this the final thing? Put it in. Nah, this has got to change. It's given me, like, I might have played it loads of times on the radio, but it's given us like another set of ears to listen to it and say like, this is going to be so much better once you've changed a few things. And it helps to have that kind of buffer, you know, the barrier, like that feedback back into our music, you know, just from an outsider as well. It's not like he's like listening to our show like Late Night on Rinse and asking us to adjust the hi-hat. It's literally just another set of ears that can give you like a really kind of grounded feeling of music, you know.
Do you know what? It's a really good feeling being there when you get there and like everybody's cutting and everybody's got their new tunes and like someone's gonna go in the room and then you're gonna hear what they're cutting. Do you know what I'm saying? You ask them who made it, and you get to find out about new producers that you didn't know about. You get to find out about new sounds. You get to find out a lot of things just being in that environment. You get to find out how to make the tune sound better. You know what I mean? You so much things to learn from a place like that, and it's a bit saddening now that music's just gone to digital, because those are the things that kind of brought people together. Those stages of your music that, you know, you have to go and do things and you have to meet up with the community. Now it's like everybody's just emailing me a song and it just comes up on your iPad. It's like, yeah, alright, cool, and then you play it. You know what I mean? You don't really get to interact. That's why that is the environment that was really special about the UK scene at that time, man. Places like Music House, it was a community, it was a culture. It was more than just a dub cut. You know what I'm saying? It was a home.
A vinyl release made it more memorable. Like you could get sent a track on an MP3 or an email or whatever and forget it in a couple of weeks. But for me, coming from like the garage era and, you know, a couple of years before I started the drum and bass era, I know the amount of value people placed on the physical, the vinyl. You know, you'd remember the label, the artwork. You'd remember like the notes cut into the run in. You know, the cat number. You know, where it was cut. You know, Music House, JTS, wherever it was done, Transmission, Masterpiece, whoever done it. Remember all of that stuff, and it just being able to hold that piece of music in your hand sort of gave it more weight.
And then once you get pressed to get it back, and then now you've got a physical with your own copy, like a physical copy of your own tune in your hands. So no better feeling than that. Like all this digital stuff, cool, that can work, but there's nothing like having something physical to hold, like a CD, vinyl, something like that. You know what I mean?
It might not so be here in the UK, but internationally, people still value the vinyl as a big thing, a big issue. Over here, obviously, the market's changed. The DJs have changed.
Not everyone DJs out with the vinyl these days. I seen Spooky do a dubplate and vinyl set down Rye Wax the other day, and I don't know. I mean, I know people sort of say, "Oh, you can't tell the sound," but for me, it sounded fucking amazing, to be honest with you.
So there's no point me just sitting there with all this vinyl and all these dub plates, getting them cut and all this malarkey, and it's just gonna sit in my yard gathering dust. There's no point in that. If I'm buying vinyl, I'm buying it for a purpose.
It's good. It's good there's people out there, and it seems to be growing a lot at the minute. This year and like last year, people seem to take notice. Last year, I think, compared to before, it does seem a bit not easier to sell. It's not like they're flying out last year, but compared to where it was in 2010, there's definitely a bigger market there now.
But that was when I knew like the powers of the music now, man. It was in our hands. Like I could literally see it. And I think if it wasn't for Music House, I would have never saw that. Like, that is real talk, because I wouldn't have been able to. We didn't have CDJs. You didn't have CDJs, so how was they gonna hear my tune that I'd made in the basement the day before? There was no other way for them to hear me. None. Even when you used to go to radio, they didn't have CDs patterned up for you to. Nah. Guys better have the vinyls or your dubs. You get what I'm saying? So, to be honest, not enough maximum respect to Music House and props to Music House for the simple fact that I don't think in those 4 or 5 years that my music was getting heard in clubs off acetate and getting the reaction and making me having a big enough fan base and make enough money to then go on to press up records and build a career. I don't think I'd been able to do that without Music House.
What must mine? Say that I'm pink. 116, spray that clean. Make a man hot legs taking crack. Do music, got a lot of hits. I make him man dance like my name is Jack. Oh my word. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh golly. I'm not a waste man, I'm not a wally. Man can't push me around like Twally. I'll kick off into River Pele volley. Sucking up MCs like a Hoover. Lyrical trooper, the mic abuser, lyric producer, originator, communicator for imitator. Move for me before they get chopped with a meat cleaver. Check out the vinyl, I'm in the final, king of survival, checking out a rival.